The secret of success is constancy to purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. My friends, each and every day, making sure you spend 10 to 15 minutes in this market charting your favorite charts, doing practice trades, learning by doing. And by the way, Patreon members, I've already gotten all of the weekly vertical crossovers that we could find that looked decent on the S&P 500. I think there's 16 altogether this week. Anyway, I'm going to be posting them for you at the Patreon page and, of course, sending you that weekly email with the weekly vertical crossovers, the early access to charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. All that was uploaded yesterday, and the three-wave trades that are exclusive to you. Everyone else, those charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies will be out for you tomorrow. Let's jump into these charts. We see Bitcoin and stocks are up. Bonds and gold are down. Let's jump into the S&P 500 first. Just barely up 0.04%, but it's been a good week so far. In the S&P 500, you can see again things sort of moving along about the same line for the last 2 days on this half-day chart. You can see again on the 2-day where it's not gotten a whole lot higher than it did on that prior 2-day chart. Now, remember, this is just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. We can see how the volume has been decreasing the prior 3 2-day candles. We're just 1 day into this one. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. You can also see with just 1 day left, volume is nowhere near up to what it was last week or even near this black line, which is the average. So we'll keep our eye on things. Could be a big day tomorrow. Could drive that up higher. But we will see. How high will this market go? I don't know, but it keeps going. Let's go into the NASDAQ 100. Last week, a little above average volume there. This week, driving up higher for the day, 0.91%. So about 0.2%. Still moving up as we look at the 2-day chart. Half day, again, just sort of popping up a little bit. So we'll keep our eye on things and see how stocks finish up the week. Looks like it's just going to be another up week. What about bonds? Well, waiting for bonds to close for us. So we're going to reach the average. Now, this is what's interesting. Bonds moved down. They then tried to pop up, right? We see all this up movement on that top wick, a little bit on the down wick, just above the weekly trend line. And now we've got a down move. And you can see on this. Now, I do always caution you. See all these tick lines where when we line things up, it can mislead you because that tick looks like you had some up movement on that candle. When you move to the side, you can see as you look at the furthest red candle, only has a down wick. So moving down, we're going to pay attention to where the volume gets, hope it gets up to average. After this latest up move failed, what would we expect to happen if we have a down move after that, particularly with average volume? That it's going to keep going down. We can see where things pop down in the morning and about the same in the afternoon, down 0.58%. This is on the half-day chart. 2-day chart, again, 5th day of down movement. So things moving in the right direction to resume a down move potentially on the 20-year treasuries. Now, you might say, but Tom, why would I think about getting into treasuries if it's moving down in a practice trade? Because we have a single short fund called Tango, Bravo, Foxtrot, something to just add your little repertoire. Look at what it's been doing. It's the single inverse. It says right there, the short 20-plus year treasury. Single short. Now, it does have higher fees. It does recalculate each day. So you got to be careful when you do practice trade it. But you're never going to learn how to practice trade it if you don't. Oh, you're never going to learn how to trade it unless you practice trade it and see if you like using inverse funds at times to help you capture down moves in the market. Look at how well it did moving up. And of course, when the market rolled over and moved down, it just moved down with it. And then as the market started to move up, it went in the, when the market moved up, it went down. When the market moved down, it went up. So keep an eye. Possibilities exist. Add a little sophistication to your bag of tricks. So, what's going on with gold? Now, gold is interesting. Spinning top this week, not as strong a down candle as we saw before, as we just saw on 20-year bonds. What do we see on gold? Well, it did pop up last week at above average volume. Don't know where it's going to go this week. We can see all those weeks prior weak volume as it was moving down, but we did bounce off last week. Of course, what? That prior ceiling that we've seen so many times. Would love to see more strong and aggressive movement tomorrow, higher volume. Again, a little more iffy as far as where gold is going to go. Now, when we couple what's happening with GLD and we take a look at gold miners, GDX, what are they doing? I just sort of am always interested in watching. They're continuing to move down. You know, they've been moving down all this time as gold itself, you know, hasn't been moving down as strongly. So again, look for some correlations if you can find them. Again, we'll watch, we'll wait, we'll see how the market leads us. Now, what's up with Bitcoin? Of course, I keep explaining this. I hope you'll just be patient with me for new folks so they understand. Van Eck XBTF was what we tracked forever. It ended when all those spot crypto ETFs came in. They came up with HODL right here. And it's only been going, we can see it's in its 5th week. We don't have any averages here, so we are going back and forth with the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart to see what it is doing. We can see we're below average volume this week. We do have an up move, up for the day 2.26%. Second week, looks like Bitcoin is trying to resume its upward march. It sure has on the 195-minute chart and the 2-day chart. First day, the latest 2-day candle. Don't have great volume here, but we do have nice up movement. So we will keep an eye on things as we, again, after the doji last week and the up move this week, we look at where we are on the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. Of course, the entry point after this intermediate bottom and then turning around with average volume was, of course, last week. You could consider getting in this week. You're a little late to the game. And, of course, with Bitcoin, there's no telling how much that could sting you in a practice trade. But you want to learn by doing. So don't hesitate to enter practice trades. Learn from them. And I do hope that when you enter a practice trade, each and every day, you are looking at that chart. It's always a good idea to check it out in the morning, usually, again, after idiot hour, which ends at 10:30, say around 11, and then in the afternoon, say around 3:30 to see what's going on then. Make notes. Have a little trader's journal where you write down what you're seeing and what you're doing. Are you pulling the trade? Are you letting the trade run? Have you hit your one-time ATR, average true range, on the 2-day chart and sold half of it, letting the rest of the position run? So again, whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, you're making notes on that, because once the trade is done, you then do your after action, your Monday morning quarterbacking, and you look at how you played. What mistakes did you make? What can you learn? And again, if you're not doing that, you know, it's like they say in the medical profession, if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. So write it down. That's the end of my advice today, folks. Always love to hear from you. Patreon members, appreciate your support. If you're not a Patreon supporter, want to support what we do, underwrite the cost of the channel that we provide to you for free every day. We'd love for you to do that. And of course, first thing you get when you sign up, not only do you get every week the weekly vertical crossovers on the S&P 500 that we curate for you, you also get 3-wave trades and early access charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. But the minute you sign up, you, at any of the 3 levels, you immediately get an email with links to our 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. You're interested in options? We're interested in teaching you how to practice trade them. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.